Hey everyone, Tony George, DocSports.com, Week 14 NFL opening line report. I haven't done a lot of free pick videos here. Last couple, 3 days, I've been very under the weather. And now just getting around after a tough Monday in terms of health-wise to get a look at these opening lines in the NFL. I've seen a couple of them. I've heard about a couple of them through Twitter looking. But nonetheless, I haven't seen them all. So again, these are just initial reactions and initial leans, not handicap picks. Just what I think out of the gate, raw and candid comments here on this week's NFL slate. And of course, we're also going to pull up power numbers on some of these some of these games. So I'm just going to tell you what the power number is versus the line. You know, because a lot of these, and I'll explain to you because I heard about a line that I want to discuss with you in terms of not making any sense and how those usually turn out. So anyway, leave your comments in the link in the comment section. Those go in the back end before they're released, and I have to go in and review them all because of the F-bombs and the haters and the porn sites and the webcam girls. They know the demographic here. Other competing websites putting links to their picks page and telling you we stink and they're the greatest thing ever. And, you know, by the way, that's their business model. So how's that working out for them, huh? It's called based on merit, baby. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and take a look at this week's lines. I'll go in the back end and look at the comments, and I'll put some out that I deem are well worth a discussion point, and I'll answer what you think. You know, what parlay do you like? What games do you like to tease? Tell me I'm crazy liking so and so early. And bear in mind, these are not handicapped games. These are just initial reactions. Let's get after it in week one here, and we have Thursday night football game, West Coast style. The Las Vegas Raiders. Wow, they're winning. They're laying 6 on the road at SoFi after a knockdown drag-out in the Rams. Total 44.5. My goodness. So Las Vegas is laying 6 in this game. They should be laying 2. And that's on a neutral site. Now, when we're talking about these power numbers, for those of you that don't know, there's numerous factors and variables, literally 50 of them, that go into arriving at a number. Yards per play, yards per possession, all the way down to the usual stats. You know, and I also grade quarterbacks through QBR, which also figures into the number. So all those numbers are based on everything but injuries, weather, and situational analysis, which has to also be put into the number. You know, so the injury list for the Rams explains why, you know, the spread should be -2, they're -6. So when you look at the power number versus the spread, that is a 4-point overlay in favor of a home underdog, which usually is an absolute must. You got to take them. In this case, I don't think so. Donald out, quarterback's gone, biggest playmaker's gone. They haven't looked good. Am I willing to lay 6 in that game? No, but I think the under might be worth a look. But the spread should be 2. I'm just going off power numbers. And these are not only my power numbers, I've combined them with mine and 3 other sites that I use, and then a newsletter that has power ratings in it that I respect greatly. That I blend those in and I come up with a kind of a consensus number. Baltimore on the road at Pittsburgh, laying 2.5. So I have Baltimore in power numbers at -6. Take away 2 points, they should be -4. They're 2.5. That's a 6.5 point overlay in favor of the Ravens, who probably would be the better team if Jackson was playing quarterback. So then you have to ask yourself a question. What's he worth point-wise? What's he, Huntley? Is he Jackson? No. Is he capable? Yeah. Pickett and boys, they're coming on. Pittsburgh's coming on. They've had a weak schedule. Scraping by Atlanta is a little difficult. Going to be a little more difficult playing a Harbaugh coached Ravens team in a division game. Totals 36.5. I mean, the defense holding Denver to 9 points over the weekend is not a buy sign on the Raven defense. I think the Broncos offense would have trouble scoring against Georgia in college football. Are the Steelers ready to step up and beat a team? That's the question here. I have the Ravens ranked as the 7th best team in the NFL. That's with their quarterback. To give you an idea of the difference, yeah, I'm just looking at these numbers, guys, trying to share it with you. I have the Steelers ranked 25th in my power rating against the 7th ranked team, and they're catching points even without their quarterback. Let me make a bold prediction because we're just having fun. Glass of lemonade and a Yeti, taking a piss over a fence post, just talking about sports, what we think initially. Give me the Ravens. Cleveland with Deshaun Watson on the road at Cincinnati, who beat up my beloved Chiefs this week. Boy, do they have the Chiefs number. Burrow's 3-0 against Kansas City, straight up. And he's 0-4 straight up against the Browns. I think he gets over on that, but I'm not laying 6. I put him in a teaser. That's a teaser play. Total 47.5 seems a little high. And the thing about Deshaun Watson is, remember back in the old days, some of you guys are old school like me in your 50s, remember back in the old days when they really built cars really well? But the engines that go bad or the transmissions, you just replace the engine or transmission, not just junk out the car, because the car lasts forever. So when you when you replaced an engine, which is like replacing a quarterback, it takes a while to get all the tweaks and the timing and the carburetor set. And I'm talking old school, not fuel injection, old school. Used to be an old, Mopar muscle guy. Had a lot of Mopar muscle cars. You got to tweak them a little bit when you put those new engines in. Set the timing. It takes a while. Same thing with Cleveland's offense with Watson back at the helm. He didn't look overly sharp. He didn't look bad, but he didn't look sharp. It's going to take a while. You got a 5-7 football team. Chances you making the playoffs if you win out, hardly. So they're just going to tweak him a while. But I think they'll give Cincinnati a game. They beat the piss out of them here about 2-3 weeks ago. Definitely put Cleveland in a teaser, get them up to +12. 47.5 seems a little high. But, Cincinnati can put up points. That last game was what? 33-4. What was that last? Let's take a look at that last game. That wasn't that long ago. That was October. That was on Halloween. 32-13. That's 45. Well, I'll guarantee one thing. Cincinnati's not going to have 13 this time around. New York Jets getting 9.5 at Buffalo. Jets hang around. Can't win. Buffalo with revenge at home. Don't know what the weather's going to be. The power number. I have Buffalo rated number 1 in my power ratings. I have them at -10. Home field. Definitely put Buffalo in a teaser. Definitely put Buffalo in a teaser. The Jets, it's ugly, kind of mistake-ridden, streaky. I'm talking all things during the game. And then at the end of the game, they're just kind of there. That brings in 9.5. You could tease this either way and probably be halfway safe with either side. Jacksonville on the road at Tennessee, minus 3.5. 42.5 total. Take Tennessee. Houston, oh my God, plus 17 at Dallas. Holy criminy. Who's Dallas got on deck? That's key. Let me take a look at Dallas' schedule. At Jacksonville on deck. Then Philly, then Tennessee. 2 layups in a row before you play the Eagles for probably the division crown. Then you got a road game at Tennessee. I don't get involved with double-digit spreads in the NFL, guys. Just don't do it. Pass. Philadelphia minus 6.5 at the New York Giants. Total 44.5. The total in that Dallas game was 44.5. That's about right, by the way. 45.5 here. Philadelphia, New York. I know this sounds crazy. I kind of like the over. Let's take a look at some quick numbers here. So the Eagles have put up 75 points in the last 2 weeks. And that's against Green Bay and Tennessee. So it's not like they're going up against Jacksonville and Houston. And the G-Man, the tie with Washington. And I just go ahead and admit it right now. I was one of 7 left out of 1,100 in my survivor pool. And I lost because I took Washington this weekend. A real pissy mood. Oh, I just hate the Giants. But they put up 40 the last 2 weeks. I like the over in that game. Power rating number. I'm doing this on some of these for you. I have Philadelphia. I have my top 5. I'll give you my top 10 in power ratings. Buffalo, Kansas City, Dallas, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Cincinnati, Baltimore, New England, Minnesota, and Miami. So we got, give you the power number in this game. So the line, based on power numbers, should be 7.4. On the road, the best play in that game's over and nothing for me. Okay, here's the game I want to tell you about. This is a line I heard about. Minnesota's catching 2.5 at Detroit. I have Minnesota in the top 10 of my power rankings. They hung on, found a way to win again this weekend against a Jets team that, it's just the Jets. Well, the Jets beat, Buffalo. So let's, Detroit 2.5, total 53.5. That total is going to come into play for sure. That's definitely an overplay. But many times in Major League Baseball, when you see a fishy money line, like say the Pirates are minus 120 over the Yankees, or in the NBA when the Houston Rockets are a 1.5 point favorite against the Golden State Warriors at home, and they're begging you to take the obvious side. Sometimes you go contrarian. Because I've seen those things, and I'll look, and I say, no injuries. I don't know about load management. They're not bullpen pitching that game. Steph Curry isn't out. Greek Freak isn't out. Anthony Davis isn't out. Depending on what team we're talking about with the screwy line. But I could only lean Detroit. Just telling you. Sometimes you go when it's fishy and it looks like they're baiting you to take as a trap line. They call it trap line. There's all kinds of names for it. But there's a reason that is. Because power rating wise, I can tell you, let me tell you what the number should be. Okay? I'm trying to do some math here because there's about 3 different ways to figure this, so it takes me a minute. I went to the University of Nebraska for 6 years and got a 2-year degree, so I'm not real smart. On my power numbers, and tell you how good Detroit's playing, I've got them tied with Washington in my power ratings, and above Seattle, above New Orleans, above the Giants, above the Steelers, Cardinals, Colts, Atlanta, Chicago. Just letting you know. I should be -3. So 2.5, that's a 5.5 point overlay. That's an automatic take more times than not, but something's fishy about that line. I haven't seen the injury report. Is Cousins hurt? Is Dalvin Cook out? Thielen, Jefferson, key defensive players. What's going on there? That requires some more. That 53.5 looks tasty. Kansas City -9 against Denver on the road. Patrick Mahomes has never lost a divisional game on the road as a starter for the Kansas City Chiefs. They have one of the best divisional records of any team in the history of football. They just got beat at Cincinnati. They didn't play that well against Jacksonville the week before. Cincinnati's a very good football team that's on the come right now. They needed it more than Kansas City. Denver can't get out of their own way. You do 3 and out, 3 and out, and 3 and out against Kansas City's defense. I don't give a rat's ass how good Denver defense is. You get too many 3 and outs facing Mahomes and company that are all pissed off. And it's not an excuse, but Kansas City had 6 key players with the flu in that game, including Kelsey. Give me Kansas City and a teaser down to -3. Guaranteed, and stick them. Ooh, I don't want to tease through 0. Seattle, and the total in that game is 43.5. Does Denver go under again? Maybe. Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. Kansas City wants to get in there and just get out with a win. They don't have to worry about a look-ahead spot. They're playing on the road at Houston the following week. So Kansas City plays these guys. They play at Houston, Seattle at home, and then Denver back at home to end the season. So they're going to want to sweep Denver. No reason they can't. They're such an absolute mess. It's unbelievable. That coach needs to go. Carolina at Seattle, 43.5. Seattle laying 3.5. Take Seattle. Tampa Bay getting 3.5 at San Francisco. Total 37.5. Let me listen very slowly. San Francisco. Okay, next game. Miami. -3 on the road at the Chargers. Total 52.5. Like that over. First thing that comes to mind. And I wouldn't mind seeing Chargers in a teaser. Put them with Kansas City. Do an AFC West teaser. And the Monday night game. New England at Arizona. 1.5. Total 44.5. Wow. How can you back New England? If they had trouble covering Diggs, what do you think Bernard Hopkins and company's going to... Really? Biggest playmaker on the field, at home, with the best quarterback in the game. And although I have told you repeatedly that Cliff Kingsbury is a bad NFL football coach, he's a hell of a lot better play caller than Patricia is. Because that, in fact, is what New England's demise is. And you're seeing some of those plays and twists and in-game adjustments that Josh McDaniels did for them last year now coming to fruition for the Las Vegas Raiders. They don't have that innovation on the sideline. And Belichick probably knows it. Take a defensive coordinator and make him an offensive coordinator. What? Give me the Cardinals. Those are my thoughts this week for NFL 14, Week 14. Be sure and leave your comments below. Be sure and check out DocSports.com. College basketball, tons of free picks daily over there on the website, written up, videos. Great stuff going on over there. 99% of the stuff we have on the website is free. Speaking of free, we'll give you a free $60 and a link in the description below. If you've never been a member of Docs, it's hassle-free. No one's going to call you. We don't have salesmen. We have live customer service, which is rare in this industry. Maybe 2 people have it. We're one of them. You call up with a question or got a problem, we have solutions. We have live people there that answer the phone 8 hours a day, like a real company. So be sure and check out Docs, and we'll give you a free $60. If you've never been a member, and you can use it on the website. Myself, you got 11 other handicappers over there, a couple consensus services as well. Be sure and check it all out right there, DocSports.com. Have a great week.